The ancient Hawaiians refer them to the Kukahaili, the dancing lights. UFOs will be explained in this documentary. Could Hawaii be a hotspot for UFOs? Could the majestic landscape and sacred grounds be a magnet for UFOs from other planets? Or could they be Hawaiian gods coming back to the Aina? UFOs over Hawaii. Now let's begin our journey on the Hamakua coast with spiritual leader Kamaka Vivi Ole.
The UFOs have been coming to the islands of Hawaii for millions of years. And they came here originally. And all they're doing is showing us that they're back again. And they want to be with us once more as a family. But the aliens have been known to us and known to the Hawaiians for a long time, but they don't speak about it. But they now want to share this, and the Hawaiians have the greatest opportunity to come out and be with them. The understanding of the star family is the biggest thing. And we now have a great opportunity of our lifetime to be with the star family. So let's begin this journey together.
It was a long journey for the Hawaiians to find their way to Hawaii. They traveled by using and guiding their way across the Pacific, using the lights and the stars as their maps. Could they have witnessed things on the way over the ocean in the night skies that may have helped them on their journey? Evidence is here in the state of unexplained artifacts and unusual structures, along with many sightings of UFOs in the valleys riddling the islands.
Getting this on tape.
The UFO that came out from the valley came out from the pyramid in the back. There's a pyramid-shaped portion of the valley that where the UFOs come from. They enter and exit through that portal. Now, because of that, what was seen there was them coming out, showing themselves, and they have an opportunity to now reveal that they are in that valley and have always been in that valley. And now the people can see them fly out, and it will be shown more and more each time.
Dr. Linda Hostelek will give us insight with the star family and their relation with the islands.
There's a grid, and there's these things called telluric currents, which are electromagnetic anomalies, which were put in place by the ancients thousands, millions years ago, because they're beacons for them to return home. Because when the star family returns home, it's like their navigation system. Where do they return to? And Hawaii is very blessed in that regard, as the electromagnetic anomalies are very powerful here, very strong. Most people will come here, they will feel something, even if they don't normally feel things. For those that are sensitive, they're going to feel a lot. It's a great place of power and healing, and has been renowned throughout the universe for its healing properties.
Could the Hawaiian Islands have special healing powers? And could beings from other worlds find this place irresistible? The largest valley on the Big Island of Hawaii has the mana, the power. Could this place be a magnet for UFOs? Waipio Valley, the Valley of the Kings.
Well, first of all, the valley is holy. It's an absolutely sacred site, and people have been doing ceremony there for eons. The footage that I saw represented an observership, one that kind of checks in on things and makes sure that things are the way that they should be. In addition, my feeling is that it's from Sirius. Okay, it's a Syrian ship, and there's different observerships that are stationed throughout the entire globe here to check in and make sure that things are still pristine, that the ceremonies are still being done, that the ancestors who have passed down the traditions, that they're keeping those traditions so that the energy remains high. Because when the energy is high, then the vibration is high. And again, it's like a roadmap, so they know how and where to return to.
What you're about to see are 2 videos shot by Paul Abakar of Waipio Valley.
I think it's
There he is! See it? Right there! Oh my god! Oh no! Look, there it is. It's moving now. See it? Oh my god!
You see that?
Oh, God! Oh, what is that? What is that thing? Craziness.
A simple man who lives in a plantation home with curiosity of what goes on over his home, known as Kukahaili, the dancing lights. Paul Abakar will explain some of the most amazing encounters he's had.
I was born and raised here on the Big Island. Lived here my whole life. This is on family property. You know, we live in Kukuihaili pretty much forever. We had this house. Traveling light, they say, is the night marchers protecting the land. You know, the spirits of the Hawaiians, basically, you know, protecting the Aina.
Could the military and CIA Black Ops be experimenting with aerial drones over the Hawaiian Islands?
That day was in the kitchen just hanging out, and my cousin Johnny was outside screaming. Like, bro, come out here. I don't know what he was yelling about. So we came flying out, and then Johnny was like, bro, it's one UFO. Like, oh, God. Oh, what is that? It was up in the sky, was metallic, was just sitting there. You know, it was kind of windy that day. We didn't know what that was. Just by chance, I got to catch it on video. It was pretty amazing.
Paul is a local boy, but Paul comes from a very long ancestral connection to the Star family. His knowledge about this here is that his family has come to see him. And this is why they showed up only to Paul. And he has the greatest opportunity to share this out, that his family has this type of technology. And this is why he is now going to be on a journey, knowing that this is what he saw. And what was happening there is that the spinning UFO that was seen there was a UFO that was used for observation purposes. They come in and they check out the area of all of the places that needs to be kept intact, because some of these places have not been kept intact and have to be taken care of. The evidence of the Hawaiians' connection to the Star family has been from day one. They have known this. This is why they have always kept those things that are sacred to them. Pele, Paleahu, all part of the Star family. The problem is that we have taken this and driven away from it, and have asked, who are they? You know, why do they exist? What is Pele all about? She's all part of the Star family, just like all the others that have come here, the holy ones. And this is why it's now becoming real for the people. And this island of Hawaii is the biggest place for it to happen, because we have those things that exist in Mauna Kea, the volcanoes, the oceans. We have all of these areas where the UFOs can come inside and use them for their purposes. But what we're concerned about is to make sure that this place is all over the earth is pristine, and we do not lose balance of it.
Oh, absolutely there's connection. Absolutely. And I think all Native people everywhere have connections, and they're the holders of the secrets. And the secrets are written here in Hawaii, but you have to have the right eyes to see, okay, the right ears to hear. Because if you have that sense of spirit, and you can open up and listen, you can see the signs everywhere. You can see the guardian faces in the mountains. You can feel the energy in the certain plants. You know, there's much healing here. And the rocks will tell you much. Pele, I mean, the fire goddess of Hawaii, the creative goddess of Hawaii. There's evidence everywhere of her. You know, it's the only place in the entire world that new earth is being created on a daily basis. You know, that's pretty special.
Craziness!
It's time to wake up, Paul. It's time to wake up and claim your place. You know, there are certain individuals here that have come here with that very job description, to wake up and to bring the knowledge to the people. There's a reason they show up in his footage, because he's supposed to see them and he's supposed to bring them out to the people. You know, those aren't ordinary pictures. You know, I've seen them. You know, they're real. And when you see phenomenon like that, at first you'd kind of like, no way, this can't be real, I don't believe it. But when it continues to happen over and over again in your life, that's a message from Spirit that you need to take seriously and to do some soul searching and find out what is your position here.
Pearl Harbor is like an island away. You know, it could have been a military drone. They do testing on the slopes of Mauna Kea all the time. There's military bombings up there going nuts. People bring their people up there just to hear the bombs, you know. It's like, who knows what that could have been? That could have been totally military. I'm not telling you these are aliens from outer space. You know, I'm just telling you what I caught on video. You know, what my beliefs and yours might be different. It's an identified flying object, so it's a UFO in my book. I couldn't tell you what it is, or who's to say what it is. Yeah, some people tell me it's all fake, CGI. I don't even own a computer. What is CGI? You know what I mean? I'm just a man who caught amazing footage. I don't own a computer, not even a smartphone. You kidding me? Yeah, I know the difference between an airplane, helicopter. You know, there's no aircraft I've ever seen, ever. So I caught them on video. You know, you make your own decisions.
Whether they be UFOs, one thing's going on for sure. The military's very active in the state of Hawaii.
Well, I think that there is a cover-up. I think that most of what is released as UFO footage is really stuff that the government has thrown out there and wants to throw out there to throw people off the track. Because I think if people knew what was the truth, that it would discredit the government, and their whole perception of reality would have to shift and change, and they would no longer hold the power that they do as, you know, the military-industrial complex that it is today.
Could UFO evidence like this and people's testimony from Hawaii bring the government to finally release and give disclosure?
sighting is like when there's a whole bunch of things thrown out there. Maybe there's 20 things thrown out, but only one is real. The other ones are designed to either prove it to be fake, so that you don't believe the one that is real, or are designed to confuse and manipulate and control.
Much of what the government has shown is to really cause us to ask questions. Is there always something out there? They've caused so much chaos within the whole community, the global community. It's protect what they've got. And all the incidents that have occurred here in the United States and all over, they have used all the technology. And basically the government and those other companies in the world have protected their sources. And we know this. And now it's coming up to the truth, and the truth will be heard.
Yeah, so that day I had my video camera and I was in my kitchen. Yeah, my cousin Johnny was just screaming, saying, "Oh, come out!" I was like, so he came over here, and then right there, you can see him in the background. Yeah, I've been seeing lights in the sky since I was a little kid. You know, maybe we're out here isolated, out in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, we went out there. It looked metallic, shiny. You know, it was a real windy day, I remember. It was big. It was like 15, 20 feet, like the size of my truck. It was huge. It was just sitting there for like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, I've been seeing lights in the sky since I was a little kid. You know, maybe we're out here isolated, out in the middle of the ocean, Pacific Ocean. Maybe, you know, the UFOs like coming to Hawaii because we're so isolated out here, you know. Maybe they love it. Who knows? So I'll come out every night. Before I go sleep, I look at the stars with my camera to see if I can capture anything. And this one night I was out here, I looked in the sky, and I was like, no, that's not no star. It was moving. It was creating this shape. I looked up and I said, it looked like a bright cross. So I was like, no, that's not no star, no satellite. It doesn't move like that and make like a shape in the sky. So I just kept filming. Was well lit, you know, the nice moon in the sky. There's no other stars in the sky, so except these bright orb looking lights shaped like a cross. Was the atmosphere would look like it was in our atmosphere, not in the sky. You know, it was amazing. I live 4 miles away from a special place, Waipio, Valley of the Kings, very sacred place. Sacred burial grounds. You know, Waipio is special to the Hawaiians. Well, I just go continue to keep my eyes in the sky. I'll always have my camera out, and hopefully one day I'll have the answers to what's going on in the skies over Hawaii.
Orlando Smith, a musician, captures something amazing over the Hamakua coast. A military C-17 transport tracked by an unknown object.
You know, I've been living in Hawaii for 20 years, about 22 years actually. And I came here originally because of the beauty of the natural landscape. There's a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that have told me countless stories about things that they've seen, experiences and stuff. And, you know, I never really, I can't say that I believe or disbelieve. I have never really seen anything like this that has really been so unidentifiable. Just, I don't know what the heck is going on there. So I came up here to get some shots of the Pink Church, and I look to the coast and I see this big military transport, kind of look like a C-17 or something like that. A huge jet. I get some shots of the jet. I start videoing the jet, you know, just out of curiosity or something. And an object like the size of a minivan or something flies up behind the jet, and I'm shooting the jet and I see this thing fly right in.
With steady hands and calm nerves, Orlando Smith captures something amazing over the Hamakua coast. What is this object tracking the C-17? With video evidence like this, it leaves one to wonder, are we alone?
If you want to really know what the truth is, there's a lot of things that have been declassified now. And so you can write and you can find them out. And ask questions. And don't just take the pat answers as truth. You know, seek them out. And in your meditation and your prayers, we all have this inner knowingness of what is right and what is wrong. We're born with it. Just like the birds are born with a homing device that they can follow north and they can migrate. We have an internal compass which tells us what is truth and what is not. And listen to that internal compass. Again, most of what they're going to throw out there isn't true. And it's designed to throw you off the track. But if you listen inside and you can see the signs of what is true and you see things happen to you, perhaps there's a knowingness that you have and you find it to be true, and all these dots are pointing the way to a certain direction in your life. Listen to that. That internal barometer inside of you is going to really, it'll put you on the right path.
Orlando explains on how he was on the right path, capturing his UFO.
So I kept filming the jet and the object as I was following it across the horizon, and as I zoomed in, I was like trying to figure out, what is this object? I couldn't explain what it was. How could something have flown right up to the jet and then be like almost attached to the jet, like it was gonna dock to the jet or something like that? I was like, is this some kind of crazy maneuver where something is approaching the military transport and gonna dock like in the movies or something like that? I was like, what is this thing? So then as I zoomed in, I'm thinking maybe it was a parachute or something that got tangled up, and then somehow they were gonna bring it in, because it was approaching the thing from the back. It wasn't like going away from the vehicle. So I was like, what could possibly be approaching the vehicle that close? And then so when I started zooming in, you could see there's no parachute, there's no cables, there's no nothing. All you see is a big metallic object like the size of a minivan. The crazy thing is the shot's only 26 seconds. And it seemed like I was shooting forever as I was following the thing across the horizon. And I still don't know what that other vehicle was, but I knew when I was getting this shot that this is some crazy thing happening here, some military related. So I'm still thinking it's got to be like some kind of military refueling transport, you know. But when I zoomed in, you can see there's no lines, there's no cables, there's no gas refueling line, there's no lines pulling the thing. I mean, as far as you can see, and I zoomed it in all the way, and it's like the resolution is incredible. It's only 26-second shot, but I lost it right across the horizon, like right out there. It was a beautiful day that day too, unlike today, which is totally overcast, but that day it was a spectacular day, perfect day in paradise. No clouds in the sky. I feel like I just really lucked out. I had all my gear, I was all set up. The reason why the ships come to Hawaii is one of the things is that they remove some of the sacred waters that are here. Lots of the planets do not have water. And so they take the water and take it to their sites in other planets or galaxies. And this is one of the reasons that it's so important that we keep this earth in balance, and it has to be cared for. It is that sacred. There are a lot of military reservations on the Big Island, right on top of Mauna Kea, Puakaloa training area. And you know, there's a high concentration of military activity on the island that may be a factor. I never leave home without my camera after this event. I mean, I'm always looking now because I'm starting to think that a lot of these crazy stories that I've heard from friends around here, there may be some truth to some of them.
It is no secret that the military government and the U.S. have weapons and technology they want to keep secret. Will truth ever be revealed in regards to UFOs?
The U.S. government is still going to hold up to what they have. And it's not necessary for us to go out and ask the government. It is necessary for us as a people living on this earth. We are in control of what we see and what we believe. If we believe that this is happening, and it is happening, well, this is occurring, and the people got to now see the presence of their star family. It's all going to happen. A lot of the people are going to see the technology and receive it, and they're going to use it to better mankind, to balance this earth, and to do the different things that's necessary to make the changes and the shift towards balance.
Pyramids throughout the world have been among us for thousands of years. We're here in the South Pacific. My name's Blake Cousins, and what lies behind me may be more evidence of ancient pyramids right here in the South Pacific. This is a massive structure. You could really appreciate the work put into this monument. Some of these stones are massive, weighing up to 300 to 400 pounds. And as you follow me along here, you could tell and see this wall just stretch for about a whole football field. This is absolutely amazing. Pyramids were built to worship their gods in the heavens. Could it be that the Hawaiians believed in outer space beings from other worlds? It is said in history this massive structure was built in a day, with over 10,000 Hawaiians carrying stone to stone, man to man, to build this massive structure. And we've just seen a little peek of what is actually out there. We're here now at the base of the pyramid, from the top to the bottom, and just look at the mass and length of the work that was put into this massive structure here. If you could appreciate, like me, the theory of ancient astronauts, this theoretically could be a sign from the gods. The mystery of pyramids here in the South Pacific scientifically has not been supported, but with evidence like this, how could it be denied? My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again at Third Phase of Moon.
In the small, quaint town of Honoka'a on the Hamakua coast lives Dr. Ton Keeney, also owner of the Honoka'a People's Theater. He explains an extraordinary sighting he had on the island of Maui.
I am Dr. Ton Keeney. I am a physician in Honoka'a on the Big Island of Hawaii. I've been in practice in Honoka'a for 35 years. Well, it was certainly my only UFO encounter that I'm aware of, at least. And in order to do that, I'll have to, I think, give you some preface. I've actually told this story a few times over the intervening 35 years because the events I'm going to tell you about occurred 35 years ago. And but I think, some of the preface is important to actually understanding, why I have attached the significance I have to what I saw. So this was in 1976, I suppose late summer. I had just finished residency in Queen's Hospital in Honolulu, and I had 6 months of time before I would eventually take a job here in Hamakua as physician at the Hamakua Health Center. And I was just traveling around the island. I spent quite a bit of time in Maui. I had a little MG over there but I didn't have a house to stay in, so I was just traveling around. My routine was to go up to the summit of Haleakala and hike down into the crater, and or maybe hike down one side or the other, and back and forth. I just would go down and then go back up again and do it all again. So I think you have to understand how quiet it is in the crater, because I think that's part of the story here. I remember sitting on a rock at the top of Sliding Sands Trail, which is the trail down into Haleakala, and watching a lone hiker hike down the trail and listening to the crunch of his footsteps as he was descending. After some time, I noticed that the crunch of those footsteps, although receding, I was still able to hear them when the foot changed to the other foot, and then the crunch changed back again to the same foot that he had started with. Now, I'm not sure I can compute it accurately, but I think that probably means I was hearing this gentleman's footsteps, and he was probably about half mile away, maybe a quarter of a mile at least. So, very quiet environment. I also remember once hearing the beating of wings, and then looking around to see a bird flying pretty far off in the distance. That's something that I had never experienced before. All of these are just little stories to I think demonstrate just how quiet it is in the crater, and the importance of that is that I was staying in the crater one evening. There are cabins there. Sometimes I would be lucky enough to get into a cabin, but most of the time I would just sleep outside with a tent or sleeping bag. And I had climbed the wall of the crater just a ways above Holua Cabin, and so I was probably 100 feet off the ground, maybe 200 feet off the higher than the surface of the crater, and then I stayed there for a while. In fact, after sunset. It's so beautiful, and you know, some scenes are just hard to leave. But in the midst of all that beauty and stillness, on the rim, over the rim of the crater, and I think it was beyond Sliding Sands Trail, but over the rim of the crater, I saw two lights that actually emerged up over the rim and then came down and actually seemed as if they were flying inside the crater itself, into you know, below the level of the rim of the crater. And the crater is about 7 miles across, so it's a very big open space. You know, in those days, and I guess subsequently, I have heard that there has been a number of UFO sightings over Haleakala, and but it's just not something I pay much attention to. I'm like I said, I actually have had very little time to ponder those things over the subsequent years. And first of all, I can see it in my mind right now, of course, because it was a fascinating thing to me. Basically, it looked like two headlights. And again, they rose above the rim of the crater. And I would have guessed, I haven't actually ever thought about it, but I would have imagined something like 300, 400, 500 yards above the rim of the crater. And then they came down into, within the rim. And those two headlights, again, that would be the best I could say. I couldn't see a body that was holding these two lights together, but I'm sure there must have been, because they were in perfect unison, and they went across the crater. Again, it's about 7 miles across, and they disappeared into a cloud bank that was coming up out of Kaupo Gap. Kaupo Gap is kind of where, you know, millions of years ago, lava poured out of the crater into down the, I believe, Kipahulu side of Maui. And the one thing that was most interesting about that is that through all of and the reason I told you about the bird flapping its wings and about following the hiker down the trail, is that there was no sound whatsoever, you know, as these lights flew across and down into the crater and across the crater. And that was the thing that most impressed me, you know, and kept me wondering for all of these years, occasionally, well, what was that? What do I believe? You know, the truth is, as a result of that and as a result of some people's stories that I've heard, I have a very open mind about these things could be, you know, what? Alien spacecraft? I have no idea. But at least I'm open to the possibility that it's not something that is explainable by the things that, you know, my culture has taught me.
All right, Reynolds, this is some of the video that I thought you'd be interested in taking a look at. This was shot over the Pacific, and what it shows is some kind of structure in the clouds. Is this similar to the UFO that you explained to me that you saw in Nevada?
Yes, and these are the type of UFOs that are what they call chatna. This is a chatna type of UFO. The chatna is comes from a faraway galaxy, and what happens is that what they're doing is observation, and the reason for the observation is that many places are being checked out for not only what the people are doing, but just observe them during this time and period as the transition occurs.
All right, Reynolds, I want you to take a look at this video. It was apparently shot over Maui.
And you know, from what I see here is that this video indicates to me that this sighting of a UFO was people that came from the light. They indicated this and showing this that there is a connection between us and the star family.
You know, people talk about the Galactic Federation of Lights. Is this what they're referring to?
That is what they are referring to, because Maui is a very strategic area for UFOs and entering and exit.
People speak of interdimensional beings as well. Is there kind of a correlation between the two?
Yes, because of the fact that we are together. We are the beings. We are here already. We don't have to wait for no one else. This is the fact that we are the ones that have been waiting for each other. And now we're coming together. And this intergalactic beings is us. We're here already.
Hey Reynolds, there's one more video I want you to take a look at.
Sure.
We at Third Phase of Moon receive videos from around the world of many UFOs, and they come in amazing shapes and sizes. The viewers say at home that this resembles some kind of crucifix. Can you explain a little further on what you think this could be?
This is a type of ship they call a hana, which is the ship that takes in water. They travel throughout the places to receive the sacred waters. So you see 4 of it, and it moves in different directions to receive water from falls, ocean, sides, whatever.
Humiliation and being basically made a disgrace to anyone that knows you or your family. Now, remember,
let me ask you this: was there you signed contracts when you joined the military, and some of them are non-disclosure classification?
I had a top secret clearance.
And how long does that last? When can you start going public, naming names, start putting the names down? When can go?
You know what? Whenever your conscience allows you to. If you're bound by contracts, no one's going to know anything. It's supposed to be 20 years.
So it's well after the 20-year this incident. So when we come back up to LA, let's get some names on location.
You know, that's still I think we're pretty close to disclosure, Blake. But I also know that some people take it real personal, and they have the ability to. It's funny because I've gotten in trouble with law that I never should have, and it always seems like the worst case scenario happens, even though there's very little evidence or fact or reality in what they've said were my actions, and you get to wonder, wow, there must be some notes on the book that are saying this guy did this and this. Screw him. He has no loyalty, or he's a threat. It used to be gnarlier than it is now. But one of the things I heard that you brought up on your last show last Friday was that you were asking a guy whose uncle, who said he was younger than him, what's the period of disclosure? And he said he was now 47 and he retired when he was 40, but it's a 20-year disclosure. And that kind of also prompted me to say, you know what? Screw him. Just screw him. I got to tell the truth. Anyone that's listening, though, Blake, they really need to know something.
They're listening. Let me tell you this, though.
If you think I'm doing this for attention, you're freaking crazy. You're lying to yourself. It is not a comfortable thing to talk about, and I could give a god rat's butt about what people think.
Stand by. We're in the middle of the broadcast. We got about 30 minutes left. I want to get some callers. Maybe they have some questions in regards to this matter, and maybe we could collaborate some evidence from some other information and take some reports from around the world. Everybody stand by. Third Phase of Moon. We'll be right back. Third Phase of Moon Radio back on live, taking your calls from around the world. Wow, we've been talking, I think national security, and I think somebody just lost their job right there in the Navy in regards to maybe exposing national security. Let's get area code 949 back online. Can you tell us your rank and in what rank were you in exactly for listeners that have just arrived? And I got a couple questions. Go for it.
Sure. I was a nuclear power electronic technician seaman at that with E3.
All right. I brought up national security. We're going to be getting to callers. They're lining up. I appreciate everybody holding on, but I wanted to ask this question. Did you feel like Earth was in jeopardy when you saw whatever this craft was, or did you feel like this was something
Absolutely.
good?
That's why I said it. That's why I said it. My job and my oath was to tell the truth and defend this country. Now, if people that are higher-ranking officers don't want me to defend this country, then they never should have given me the verbiage on the contract and what I swore to. So they can all kiss my ass.
Absolutely. I think well said. It's about time people stand up for your rights. I know there's a lot of people in the military that have seen lots of things inside. They just got to, unite. Everybody has to unite in this world and get this disclosure out of the way that we're not alone. It sounds like what you experienced over there is quite amazing.
This is Skid Vicious once again. I called in about 2 weeks ago.
Sid, yeah, go ahead, Vicious. Skid, what's up, man?
Yes, I just wanted to call in and comments to the most recent caller and the sailor Navy guy.
Absolutely, he's online. Go ahead.
My hat's off to you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
I wish so many others would stand up like you, sir.
Thank you.
And may I say, I hope you feel the tingles in the back of the neck when I say you are an old soul.
Thank you, brother.
That is why you speak the truth. We are the 1%.
I think that you're right, Brent. I think you're 100% right because I feel like an old soul.
You feel
all our hair is standing up right now. It's quite amazing. It's
I have to say, you know what, bro? That is I got a warm feeling in my chest to match the tingles all the way up to my ears. Thank you.
Absolutely. And may the
You have a lot of class, man. You have a lot of class. You're from the southern United States, correct?
I was originally born in Chicago, raised in central Illinois, but currently reside in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, I remember you calling in. Thanks, bro, because, you stepped out of a bar to tell your story, correct?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Thanks, man. That's well taken to heart, man. And you know what, bro? If it wasn't for people like Blake and his brother, Brent, it's a godsend. It's a godsend. I wish the show was 3 hours or 5 hours or 24 hours long because there's a lot to say.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be back next week, Friday. You know that. Every Friday.
Thanks, kid.
We're on.
Thanks, kid.
And that's all I needed to say.
No, but you know what, Skid? Man, you're the man. You're the man. Thank you very much for the love and the support and the big huevos. Thank you.
Absolutely, and may that love continue to grow across the world.
Thank you, brother.
Amen.
Yeah, man.
That's right. It's just when it all comes together and people share knowledge. I thought that interview like last week with Vicious was quite amazing, stepping out of the bar real time. I think our radio show got a hit over 100,000 views, so people listen. All right, well, let's go to another caller while we're live, Third Phase of Moon. We got area code 619 from San Diego. Kelly, you with us?
Yeah, hey, how's it going there, Brent? Like,
hey,
what's
doing
up,
pretty
Kelly?
good, Kelly?
Hey, not much, man. I'm currently in the Navy, and that's a pretty incredible story that you were told. And I don't know, like I'd never been on a small boy, like what we call like in the Navy. You know what I'm talking about? But like I've been on, I've been on aircraft carriers a lot. Like the last deployment I had was 2012, and it's just crazy at night. You know, we call plats where you can see like I wouldn't say infrared. It's more like where you can see at night.
Especially when you're hanging out in the hangar bay.
Yeah. Well, actually, I work a lot on the flight deck, so
yeah, that's even a better viewpoint.
Yeah, I was down in my shop in what they call the plat. So, like, I would watch my aircraft come in because I work with helos, or I've seen F-18s they come in. But like some of the stuff you're talking about, like right before we entered the Gulf when we were coming in for. I mean, there was a few times, like in 2008, 2009, like I always used to see it all the time. Like it'd be like following the aircraft carriers. There'd be like light from the plat, from the night vision. You could see in the sky. It was like they looked like really bright stars, or like looked like maybe aircraft coming in, you know, with their lights really bright. But sometimes I would come outside and I run out to the flight deck and I'm looking into the sky and it's deep pitch black. There's nothing there, and so I go back down to the shop. And I could see
especially when there's really no flight patterns in that part of the sea.
Correct. And the thing about it is that when I'm looking out there, like, you know, if I run back down the shop, look down at the plat again, and you know, through the night vision, and I see these things moving across the sky, like they'd like go next to each other, or there'd be 2 or 3 of them, and they would like come across. They'd like on from the one side of the screen, and they would like stand still, so you can tell they were following us. But I thought they were aircraft, so I like again. Because I've been in ufology for a while, so I run up to the flight deck and I look at in the area they're at. So I'm waiting for I would sit there for like at least an hour waiting for something new, something to move. But again, you know, you see a lot of people that has been filming these things for a while. You know, they.
Hey Kelly, real quick question, brother. Usually there's a pattern. Has your family or prior members of your family also had these experiences that have been willing to tell you about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits a pattern, bro. It's almost like a cloning. They stay with the family, you know, and they go through generations because it's like once you're picked, you know, it's like how how we made Lilliputian horses and the miniatures and it's like once they find a family, it seems to go through generation of generation, because I can go all the way back through several generations, and in my very strict, really Italian family, everybody seemed to have a story, even though it wasn't a cool thing to say, throughout the older generations.
Yeah, you know what's weird is, like, I've never really expressed this one, but, like, I always talk with my wife about it. Like, you know, if you go through, like, ancient writings or even, like, through time where they talk about, like, the Nephilim, you know, they said that they had, like, 2 rows of teeth, or to figure out, like, they had the same bloodline that had 6 feet or 6 toes on each hand, or 6
right,
fingers on each hand.
Right, it was multi-generational.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I still have that going down through my family. Like, my brother was born; he was literally born with 6 fingers and 6 toes, but he had the bones and everything. And then my mom kind of tripped out, so she had it removed from him. One on one hand with 6 fingers. My older brother was born with 6 fingers on one hand. I got multiple cousins got 2 rows of teeth. They had to, like, you know, when they were growing up, they had to more or less get them all pulled out. So it's
right.
Like,
remember that all humans have webbing between their fingers and their toes, and we all feel very comfortable in water.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I've never, on my side, I've never really felt like that. I mean, I was like, but you know what? Though, being in the Navy, it seems like I have a lot of military family that, you know, where every time I get around the ocean,
you're comfortable in the water, bro, or else you would have been in the Air Force or the Army.
That is true, but like, there's times when I'd be by the ocean and it's like weird. They always say the saying is like that you can hear the ocean, like you can hear her calling you. And I even tell my wife, like, I can literally hear it calling me for, like, it's almost like a sweet singing voice. It's like something that's always telling.
Yeah, no, it's like a serene. But remember this, as you know, Kel, in the Navy, the first thing that you want to do, unless you have a calling, is go to frickin' sleep after knockoff ship's work. You're looking for your rack.
That is correct. That is correct.
You know what?
Thanks, Kelly. I know you're a long-time caller, and you know, it's real good, bro. And I feel a lot of love and support because, as Blake knows, he knows that I had this story to tell, and a lot of others. It's not a story; it's a recollection, and it's amazing how sometimes it takes 20 to 25 years to recall earlier things. But what happened in the 70s with me will never leave my mind, never. The things that are going on right now, it's almost acting like HAARP is trying to increase its capability or up in your face transparency, because that's the scary thing. If a commanding officer was so pissed off at me for reporting something that he should have been, well, good job, could you tell me more? No, there wasn't any tell me more, describe it, fill out a report. There was, if you don't shut up, you're screwed. And I got screwed.
You know, that's what I wanted to get back to, is that moment of the encounter. Right away, were you questioning yourself? Could this be a Russian?
No. I know. You know what it was like? It was almost like there was a force trying to make me forget. And fortunately, I'm a Virgo. I was raised with.
Do you think it was a planned event? Do you think the military, like the commander, was aware that this was going to go down, or was it something that just went down?
No, but I bet you they were on watch, because what I found out is when before that South Pacific Goodwill cruise, we loaded projectiles at the Seal Beach magazine, and we had ASROCs and a twin missile launcher on the fantail of the ship. And what I found out was, and confirmed, because when we got into Auckland and Christchurch, New Zealand, when we stopped in New Zealand, there were a great number of people with signs and animosity when we had to delay our mooring because it was all about no nukes. So I also believe the reason why we were being watched and they made themselves known is because, and maybe that's why the commanding officer was so pissed off, is because it's like the event happened because we had nuclear capability loaded in our magazines. And it's real funny because right before we got in the port, from a very calm ocean, it went to, I promise you, over 100-foot rogue swells and waves that we lost all of our capabilities in our secondary stack, which has a 2 Alpha and Bravo boiler, because we weren't Spruance class, which are engine turbines, but we actually ran on heating up a boiler, which consists of water and heat to produce the power for the ship. But the rogue waves that were shooting twin 100-foot streams over the P-51 gun mount, the bridge, the signal bridge, all the way over, hitting our ASPN radar, and then actually going into the secondary stack, and that they completely disabled the secondary stack, the alpha side of our number 1 stack, so we were only running on 1/4 of the power that we had, almost completely disabling us. And they gave us shots of alcohol because they were basically conceding that we're going to be in deep kimchi, almost DIW, dead in the water. And I promise you, for 7 days, I thought we were going to die. And I said, this is not the way I want to die. And You know, man, I promise everything that I am telling you is 100 million% with my hand to whoever you believe in. This is the truth. And Blake, as you know, I've been very hesitant in forthcoming with this recollection.
Well, I could understand some of the hesitance. You know, we've been in this for quite a while ourselves, and I think the thing is, the best way to do this is share it as fast as possible, because once you get it out, you just can't shut it down, and then boom, you just did it. That's
I feel a lot better. I got to tell you, bro, I feel like kind of a heavy relief from the most inner core of my being. You know, that's all I can say.
You know, that's what Third Phase of Moon's all about. You know, we're going to get to some callers. Maybe some people have some questions for you. Let's go to area code 717. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. Welcome.
Hey, Blake, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good.
I just I'm tuning into your show now, but I just wanted to give you a heads up of where I live. Pretty much can see UFOs on every clear night here where I live.
Where is this?
I'm located in York, Pennsylvania.
Do you got any video equipment? You've been capturing these things?
Well, actually, I had sent in a message to you before. I have a camera, but it can't get the best footage of them because it just gets too blurry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nighttime footage is pretty tough to capture. Absolutely. If it's broad daylight, any HD camera will do. But if you're going to go night vision, you're going to have to step up on some cash. So it's a bit tricky.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is keep your eyes on the skies. If you could get some perspective, a street light, something like that. But filming simple lights at night in the sky is absolutely one of the worst. It's the hardest thing you could do. So it's almost impossible. We get hundreds of videos that just never get seen to the world, unfortunately, because it's just a dot in the sky. When we have multiple structures and they're like doing kind of crazy things, then we'll post it up. But you just keep trying. You'll get something.
Right.
Good. Appreciate the call in, man.
Yeah, no problem. And also with these, which I'm sure you've seen before, I have a green laser pointer that's really powerful. And when you shine it on, they actually move away from it, and they have more activity once you're doing it. I don't do it all the time because people think it's a plane, but I tell them, well, if you just keep staring at it, a plane doesn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You get better be careful with pointing laser lights at craft that you might think it could be a UFO, it could be a actual airplane, but I can understand people are out there trying to make communication. I've seen some videos out there. I think we posted a few. When it's a UFO and it's unidentified and it's absolutely not an airplane, hey, I'm not going to condone it, but hey, keep up the good work, and thanks for calling in. Keep in touch.
Well, I'll try to get a good video and submit it to you, but thanks again, Blake, and you do a great job, man.
All right, man. We'll be standing by. You know that. That's what we do, and we love to share people's stories and videos. That's what it's all about. Let's see if we got any questions for the naval military person that's called in. 251. You got a question for our guest? 251, you there? 251's listening to the show. Let's go to, I know 406 might have a question. Go ahead.
Just glad somebody's out there, speaking their mind, and I think it's our God-given right to do that. But it seems like it's more like civilians, losing that freedom of speech, anymore. But that's why I appreciate your show, Blake, and I really do. And I appreciate getting people like the Navy guy right there on there, telling the truth, and the world should know.
I think,
set you free, man.
Freedom of speech is being threatened as we speak. People have sources. People want to tell stories, but they don't want their identities revealed. This is what journalism's all about, in the sense where somebody has something critical on something, some information that has to get out, but they don't want to have their life endangered. Well, freedom of the press doesn't have to reveal the source where it came from, as long as they feel that that source is legitimate and it's the real deal. It's being threatened right now. They're trying to put the journalist away almost, and this is how it goes down in communist societies, and it goes down real fast. So you got to watch out. I pray to God that this all still keeps going, this freedom of speech action. Third phase of moon, as it comes in, we share liquid. That's why we like it.
Yeah. And I get ready to say, you know, if like those lights you see, you know, like the changing of the lights, I think if they lose their lights like that, I think they could perish. I mean, they wouldn't know which way to go. I think they could crash into each other. That's why they got that blink on that, you know, and that seemed like that little one just really indicate, you know, communicating with the big one. And that big one just flashed once in a while. And
well, can I ask you, it's so funny, have you ever been mistaken for Ron Paul over the phone? You sound just like him.
No.
Leave it to Blake. Good one, Blake. Good one.
Well, it's surreal, but hey, you know what? Amazing show, amazing, you know, just information that's come in. The world's going to wake up when we post this on Third Phase of the Moon. I can't wait for you to all watch what we do to get this video and share it to the world. The Navy guy, can we go by and give you a name, some kind of name to the world?
Yeah. Let me think of one real quick. Why don't we just call me F1?
We'll call you F1.
Okay.
Sounds great. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what, F1, we look forward to meeting you one of these days. We'll get some more insight, more on location detail. Let's blow the lid off this and maybe get some payback that you deserve for being unjustly let go. This is a bunch of crap, if you ask me.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is payback, you know, because anyone that's listening, I feel like I'm believable because it's the truth, and I'm not too, I don't beat around the bush. I'm very blunt, and I can promise you to anyone that's listening, this is real. I'm not a liar. A liar and a thief are two things I was taught not to be. And wake up and look up. Well
said, F1. Good name. We'll be keeping in touch. Everybody, you know, incredible. This is what Third Phase Moon's all about. We'll be back again next week, you know, Friday, every Friday, 12 a.m. if you're in New York, 9 p.m. Los Angeles time. Share your story to the world. Looking forward to seeing everybody again next Friday. Be sure to check out Third Phase of Moon every day for new updates as it comes in. Art Bell's exclusive interview coming soon. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies. We'll see everybody again next time. Thanks, everybody. Wow.